And we're back. Tom Gibson, Chuck Augustin, and we're back in Nye County. Never actually left. Go ahead, Chuck, pick up.
Okay, I gave some references on research if you're wanting to do it. Probably the biggest source of information is this book here. It's called Phoenix Tears, the Rick Simpson story. And Rick Simpson's a guy, he's a little bit older than I am. I think he's 68, 69, something like that. He was a Canadian, is a Canadian, who had a severe fall. He worked for a hospital as a boiler tech, and he fell and smacked his head, went unconscious, and to make a long story short, had a concussion with severe repercussions, headaches, shaking, all kinds of horrible things. And he went through the established medical bunch, and they couldn't do anything. They tried everything, pumped him full of big pharma meds, and he was getting more side effects, and yeah, he was going down the hill like so many. And he decided to try marijuana, which you could grow in Canada. And he developed, over a short period of time, he developed a process for making hemp oil. And basically, it's a very concentrated amount of this variant of hemp, which is called indica. And basically, he takes a pound of what they call bud from the indica plant, and they say a high quality is essential. I don't know how you determine that, but I'm sure people in the farming and growing marijuana knows. At any rate, you take a pound of it and you run it through this process that he lays out in this book of running it through what's it called? A solvent, which breaks down the ingredients in the buds, and you put it in a bucket, you wash it again with a solvent, you smash it, and then basically you cook it down. And as you're reducing it, it forms a very thick oil. And he said, you know, it is somewhat dangerous in that you have to have a well-vented area. He recommends using a rice cooker to do it, and have a fan on it, take it outside. At any rate, he produces this very thick oil of the indica strain, and he started getting people with almost every disease known, from terminal cancer to on and on. I mean, just everything. And they'd take this 60 grams dosage over a 2 or 3 month period, and it would cure them. And he's also got a DVD of it, and basically what he says is this is the only thing he found of years of testing that actually worked. And what I worry about is this thing called medical marijuana. You go to some store, you buy whatever candy, I don't know what it even comes in, but it may or may not have anything resembling what this guy recommends to treat these kind of conditions. And the big thing he emphasizes is when you do get on this regimen, be aware that you're going to have a lot of sound sleep, 8, 10, 12 hours after you take this. So he says, do it gradually, build up to 1/3 of a gram a day, 3 times a day, or 1/3 of a gram 3 times a day. And expect to be knocked out, basically, and do a lot of sleeping. And any doctor, in fact, last night on Dr. Reiner's show, Dr. Christensen was talking about the sleep lab they're bringing in. And it is so critical to our health, sleep, simply because it gives the body a chance to heal itself.
Right. I suffer from sleep deprivation. I have to, if I don't take, I just take Benadryl. And if I don't take it pretty much every night, Benadryl and what's the other one? melatonin. If I don't take those every night, I fall asleep, but I will wake up, and then I can't fall back asleep. And there's nothing I can do about it. So, I mean, I'm relegated to that. And I wish they could come up with something, because I don't want to take sleeping pills, because, you know, one time I think I was prescribed Ambien, and it was like a sample. The doctor said, try it, see what you think. And I mean, it knocked me out, but I felt groggy the next day, and I don't want to feel that way, because I mean, not just my job that I need to be on my, you know, best A game all the time. I just don't like feeling like I'm in a tunnel all the time, or a fog.
Mm-hmm. And there's basically two main ingredients in the marijuana plant for medicinal use. It's THC, and that's the element that gives you a high. And then there's CBNs, cannabinoids. And that's where a lot of the healing and the beneficial aspects of the marijuana plant or hemp plant, they're the same things, they're just called different things. One is to scare people and to enforce the drug laws. That's marijuana. Hemp is the crop, but they're basically the same thing. One of the main differences is in the growing process. If you're growing THC slash marijuana, you have to space the plants farther apart. You use a species called sativa that gives the high THC content. And then if you're going with the crop, the hemp, they recommend close together, because you don't need insecticides and things like that. It's an amazing plant. It's grown virtually anywhere. Like I say, the need for insecticides is virtually nil, because it suffocates any weeds or any thing around it.
So bugs don't eat it?
It's not prone to insects or any real major issues. So it's the perfect plant, especially because it's so versatile. And the medical potential is staggering, in my opinion.
No, is it edible?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, they make oil, flaxseed oil.
Right.
In fact, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2009. I refused to do the surgery or the radiation, but they talked me into taking this drug, the mistake of my life. It's called Lupron. And I took it, and within a month, I was having my heart attacks. And that led to 2 open heart surgeries, 10 stents, a total nightmare. And I should be dead by all cardiologists' opinion. But Dr. Savron here in town did a miracle thing about in 2014 that saved my life. So at any rate, that is, the thing that's amazing is the company that makes Lupron is Abbott Labs. As I'm in the hospital with these heart attacks, I get stents put in, which are made by Abbott Labs. The CEO of Abbott Labs works at McDonald's. So you eat the Big Macs and the fries, you get the blockages, they got the stents. If you don't do Big Macs, you go get a shot for cancer, and that'll put you in the heart attack mode. So it's a revolving money stream. And these same people are involved in it. And it doesn't take a lot of research to see the picture. I mean, they're just...
Oh. How much, all right, pretend you're a doctor, and I'm your patient, and I come in and I've got something a terrible disease, and you have the cure for it, all right? And your cost is $100. I pay you $100, and now I'm cured. Now, what happens if you treat me instead of curing me?
Sure.
Then you get $100 a week for life, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and so that's the whole problem with American medicine, and a lot of them. It's not a huge conspiracy, but there are conspirators. It is like there's more money in treatment than there is in curing things, and that's why by most organizations that are into corporations that are making big money in pharmaceuticals and in medical care and treatment, they want to make money, and they're making huge money doing what they do, and that's treating, not curing.
The shot of the poison Lupron they gave me that triggered the heart attacks, and by the way, a study was put out as I'm rolling on the floor, clutching my chest, And it warned of severe cardiac complications if you take this drug. Well, that was wiped off the face of the earth within a month. That no longer existed. But in the study, 22% of the people in a VA study that took this drug had severe cardiac complications. 22%. But yet, nothing. People have tried to sue over this drug. The judges threw out the evidence. It is corruption. It is a conspiracy of unbelievable proportions. And that's part of the problem. It's so big we don't believe it. The cancer industry in 2014, they estimated 1,665,000 new cancer cases with 585,000 cancer deaths. The total, just the taxpayer-funded research, $6 billion. Total care for cancer patients, $125 billion, with a projected 39% increase to $173 billion by 2020. That is some big change, folks. And that is why they do it. And they know it. They know about these drugs. When I say they, it's not your typical doctor. He doesn't know what time it is. He's so busy during the day. Once he gets his degree, which isn't taught, of course, the truth, but when does he have time to research?
Exactly, and I ran into that. I had several friends that are doctors, and I would ask them, hard questions about certain things, and then they would just start parroting what they read. I go, wait a minute, I know you read that, but have you done research? Well, no. So it could be bad, and you're telling me to use this stuff, even though you don't know for sure if it's any good. And every one of them, well, 3 of them, all admitted that that was correct, and that they're basically reliant on that information.
Okay, we're going to go to break. Expect a call from Ray. This is the last segment. Thanks.